All systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, aka ToeTagginTambo, back for another edition of the Showdown Show. Special edition here this week. We're calling it the Friday Night Football game. It's the Brazil game. We got the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chargers. Got Hoopster here with me as always. Title with me as always. We announced two Golden SHIPIT winners yesterday from SHIPITgames.com, the game that we're running all season long over at SHIPITnation.com, and we will have another Golden SHIPIT winner announced today on this show. That will be the winner of game number one that wins a Golden SHIPIT, our third Golden SHIPIT ticket, and we'll play against Hoop this Sunday for an additional bonus cash in a head-to-head. Hoopster, got to bring you in, man. It was a fun one yesterday, last night. A lot of good things. We'll talk maybe a little quick recap and then go into it, but just on some of the stuff. But what's going on, Hoop? How you doing today?
Doing well, and I feel bad. Well, I don't feel bad for whoever wins that golden ticket because they're going to be in. You know, they'll have a chance to win the grand prize, but I feel bad that they're going to have to go against me in a head-to-head for some additional cash because, I mean, I just got off that cash show with Title, and I'm locked in, so it's going to be an uphill battle for whoever wins the golden ticket. Now, in regards to the game last night, I mean, crazy start. I mean, before the first offensive play, I mean, the dude spits on Dak Prescott. That was relatively interesting. I mean, how dumb can you be? Like, literally, how dumb can you be? Like, just like an ounce of composure and you avoid spitting on a guy. Like, how dumb. So that was relatively interesting in regards to how the game played out. You know, the Javonte Williams thing, you needed him. I didn't personally have a bunch. I don't think I had any of him in the captain. But with those running backs, the touchdown dependent running backs, like if they run good, you know, they can get there. And, you know, CD Lamb down at the 2, he's able to punch it in. You know, I want to shit on Dak, but man, CD Lamb, like, come on, man, you got it. You got to come up with the ball in those scenarios. So I'd say Eagles looked a little rusty. I will say Jalen Hurts looked like way faster than he looked last season. Like, he looked good outside of the pocket. Like, he was, I mean, obviously he's a running quarterback and you know, he's shown he could move, but he looked super quick, super fast. That's one thing I took note of from last night. Kind of like the only bright spot I'd say was definitely him and how he looked, and super pissed that the Cowboys couldn't finish the job for all the donkeys that took the Eagles in Survivor. Just so brutal. Like, just looking at some of these contests, like 50% of the field, 40 to 50% took the Eagles, who were a terrible play. If you watched the video that Sheets did the other day, like, just one of the worst picks on the board, and these people suck out a freaking win to start the season. Just absolutely brutal. That tilted me more than anything else, to be honest with you.
Reminded me, and I'll go to Title in a second. His Title got the Worthy jersey on, I'm sure, after you know, the big W last season in the Super Bowl. Maybe it's not actually, but just to note it,
ain't worthy.
No, he's not worthy. I think he's very worthy, but it's not. I forgot about that. Yeah, Jared. The thing is, I'll say this: like, the chat's talking about it. You know, Hurts RB1. They still got the tush. He didn't use the tush push. It was literally Dallas D32. Like, that was embarrassing to let that happen 3 times, including the play at the end of the game when you need to have that coverage there. Just sell out if you have to. I don't care. You know, maybe he does throw a couple to A.J. Brown at that point. It would have helped a lot of people out that needed him. But either way, I didn't think that was that crazy. I also think, Title, that this reminds me of the game to kick off the season last year. The Ravens played horrible and just lost to the Chiefs. The Chiefs kept getting stuff like that happening, and then everyone thought the Chiefs were good in the Super Bowl, and they got crushed. Hopefully the Eagles pick it up a little bit more than that. Their secondary was certainly suspect, allowing the guys like that to get to them. And also Lamb dropped like 3 big ones down the stretch. But I was pissed off. I still am. East Coast to the max. You guys know me, extra hour ahead. I stayed up for that shit. There was nothing happening after that. That was a disaster.
That was so boring. I mean, they could have just called it at the rain delay and like nothing would have changed because it was a brutal finish. Man. Like I hit the sheets and I was watching on my phone, so I stayed up extra 20 minutes. I could have been the crazy part about this, right? Okay, I'm going to tell you because I got a little inside information, right? I get shit for going to bed early. East Coast, got the kids, got to get up early. My son gets on the bus at 6:55. I'm up early every morning. Title on the West Coast said he fell asleep and didn't even finish the game.
I took a nap, set an alarm. I mean, the 10 hours of grease is absolutely killing me over here right now. I set an alarm and I couldn't even do it. My ass stayed asleep and I didn't miss much from what I heard. I had no tags in Discord. Yeah, you always know if you win or not from Discord. So I pulled up the phone, absolutely 0 tags. I knew I was best. And from there, I went right back to bed.
It wasn't that bad of a night overall, I'll say. Like between FanDuel and DraftKings, I like the new FanDuel format. It was like the same as it used to be from second place and beyond, and then 200 grand to first. So somebody did win it all outright, which is nice to see on FanDuel with those big numbers up top. But, Title's getting ready for that dad life hoop. So he's learned about hitting the sheet.
I'm up early.
Earlier. He's talking about that grease time change. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I'm going to leave it over to the dad life. Title, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
Yeah, I mean, I echo a couple things. First of all, I mean, how do you spit on someone just period? And then it's it's the first game of the year. Like, you didn't even play one play. I mean, that changed the whole, like, who knows if Javonte gets there like that. I mean, Abdul Carter, the best D tackle. I mean, it went from 8.5 to 7.5 right away. Like, Jalen Carter at least meant half a point. So that was wild to start. I mean, how do you spit on someone, period? Absolutely crazy.
At least if you're like a big athletic athlete guy and you're about to play football, at least punch him or something. Or sure. Tackle him or take him down to the ground. Like anything besides spitting or slapping. Like no spitting or slapping if you're a dude and you're going to, you have an issue with someone. At least punch him or take him to the ground.
No peripherals either. Like the ref was right there. And you're thinking, like, if I just spit down, he ain't going to notice it. Like he spit down on his jersey. But everyone's saying Dak rage baited him. Dak spit first, but Dak was just doing what he always does and spit at the ground. Gave him a little crazy smirk, the Dak smirk. And then the guy comes over and is like, nah, you ain't going to do that, pal. Let me just spit on your chest right quick. I was like, oh, that's not good. So, yeah, it immediately ejected. But still, pretty wild start. And then how the finish went was just nuts to see nothing else after that.
Yeah, I'm in the survivor street, seeing how many people played the Eagles that even like Miles Scranders. Come on, buddy. Great run. And then you fumble. I mean, it changes. I mean, again, I fell asleep after, so I saw on replay the CD drops and stuff, but you don't fumble that ball right there. I mean, they weren't stopping the Cowboys at all. So yeah, that was tough to see. But this game, I mean, we're talking showdown. This is as elite of a showdown game, I think, as it gets. Yesterday, so concentrated on the Eagles side, like we talked about, felt confident, especially after the blue inactive, that it'd be Miles Sanders. And then you knew it was like Tolbert, Turpin. Like it was really clear about the guys who will be on the field. Like you can see wide receiver 4s today and stuff. I mean, we know the Chiefs, that ball can get spread around, multiple running backs in play. It's a really, really fun, interesting showdown slate and tough too, which is what you want.
Yeah, I'll let you do our classic weather and prop stuff throughout. If you want to get that ready, I'll talk quick on this other stuff, and then we'll roll through it. There's not going to be much. We talked a lot about SHIPIT games. The main questions that came up on that, you're still eligible. We're going to keep everything marketing today short and sweet, get right to the Chiefs Chargers. But if you're not in SHIPIT, if you're not a member at SHIPIT Nation yet for football or all access, go to shipitnation.com, sign up. If you want to see what SHIPIT Games is all about and what we're advertising, 79,000 plus for cash and prizes. 50 grand is cash so far, a little more, 27,000 in prizes. It can only grow as the season goes on. Our man Daniel Wynn, with an amazing last name for this competition, got the job done yesterday. We'll have the Golden Shipper Core up on the site. That lineup will be in the Wildcat. 50% of the profits of that lineup will go to the SHIPIT Games grand prize pool. So if he wins the 200K, he gets 10% to himself, 20K. Another 100K will go up top. That's how it's going to go. So it's certainly worth checking out, but I would go do that. As I post it up, I'll pop it again. The winner is going to be coming up. We're going to do 200 likes today or end of the show, whatever it is. 200 likes or end of the show. There's going to be more than enough people get in here by that time. I know it's only 160-ish right now, but I think a lot more will get in. So throw up a like for us. Do us a favor on that. Hoopster, are you going to bring up Saber Sim? Because while you do, I do have something quick just to chat about if you want to pull that up.
Yeah, I'm just running some teams here so we can see where everything's going. So yeah,
well, you're loading that. I do want to comment quickly. This is important for just Showdown in general because one of the takeaways from last night, I know not everybody was in as far as YouTube chat goes, like, at the captain, even Hoop, I think was saying he wasn't fully in it. Like yesterday with Javonte, you do need stuff to go your way, of course. And it's the opposite side of an 8.5 point spread and so on and so forth. But I do think that's key. Like our notification in Discord. The minute the Jaden Blue news came up and everybody had it, there was immediate chatter around how does this change? We update our projections, our ownership, the stone, everything very quickly. Anybody who saved the stone from last night can go back and look at it. Javonte Williams, 5,400. Half the price of CeeDee Lamb at 10.8. And it was nice to have them both in your lineup, and they both popped. But once Jaden Blue went out, you got a little boost to Miles Sanders, who ended up being on some winning lineups out there. And then also Javonte Williams, his ceiling went up to a number that was only about 6 or 7 points shy of CeeDee Lamb. It was like 21 or something like that. Like, he can get there in whatever game script. And I know, Hoop, you even popped in the Discord and said, I might actually have to do this a little bit more.
And I did. Honestly, I did. And we were talking about it in the Discord because I wasn't super high on the Dallas running back situation, and it changed my teams a little bit. That's why, don't build super early. Wait to make sure you have all the news. I mean, I had built some teams, but I knew I was ready to make changes if needed. Update the projections. I updated the projections. I had 25% Javonte Williams before the news. After the news, I reran my teams with our updated projections, and a shout out to our projection team because they got to change quickly. And I reran things. I had 35%. That was over the field. Javonte Williams was 30% in the big thing. I had 35%. I wasn't super high in the situation, but the news changed things. Miles Sanders, I think I ended up having 12% Miles Sanders, which was over the field on Miles Sanders. I was somewhere between 10 and 12, but just because I updated the projections and reran my teams, I didn't love either of the guys. I mean, obviously wrong on Javonte Williams, boo-hoo, but I ended up being over the field because our projections changed and updated. And when I ran my teams, I was just getting more Javonte Williams, ended up being over the field on him, didn't have him in captain. I didn't like him in the captain spot. He got 2 touchdowns. Guess what? We get to redo it again tonight. I didn't get absolutely slaughtered because I had a lot of the other guys that you kind of needed. So, we're back at it. It's a good slate, and that's why it's just important to follow through the slate all the way through. Even on Sunday, we're going to be on here Sunday morning talking 10 a.m. Eastern. I think best show, obviously very biased, but best show in the industry, in my opinion, will be there talking all the way up till inactives. But you need to work all the way through on Sunday morning. You have to continue to look at things, make sure you're not missing anything. And that's, it's the fun of it. And that's why we do this. But yesterday was a good example of that because you ended up needing some of those guys that got boosts after the news. And it's not massive news, that Blue guy being ruled out. It's not huge, but guess what? It bumped all the Dallas running backs a little bit, bumped their wide receivers a little bit. So you needed to, make sure you saw those updates.
That was my thing. Just to making sure people are on top of that. It's we can be hard. I'm even hard on people sometimes. It's not in a bad way. It's just saying man, you're building your lineups a bit early. You do have to wait. And that was a key change. And it's going to happen the same, especially in week 1, when there's so many unknowns. A lot of those things can start to work in your favor if you can really hold off a little bit. So I know a lot of people popped to the Discord right away, said, no Javonte, no money, I'm dead. It was that was a way that you could have got to more had you have waited. And most people don't. And Title, I'm going to come to you just because Brazil game, anything you could let us know just about sort of the environment, what you're seeing, the numbers, all that. We're getting right into this one. But the other thing is just to remember, we talk about week 1 being so many unknowns and expect the unexpected, the old big brother line or whatever. But I will say, Dak, Devontae, Brown, all I believe under 10 fantasy points, or actually way under, even under that further. But then on top of it, 18 for Barkley, a big boy price tag is with a touchdown. Javonte needing the touchdown. A lot of things aren't going to be the way you expect them to be. And somebody said it in the chat earlier. Anthony, shout out to Anthony. If yesterday was concentrated and chalk, today is mayhem and variance. Everything goes. I think that goes with everything during week 1. Title, hit us up, man. What do you got for us? Early thoughts.
Yeah, it's in Brazil. No weather to worry about. I mean, even yesterday, we talked about on the show, obviously the lightning and the rain, but kickers, they still got there. We weren't worried about it at that point. Yep. This is one of the highest.
First half, by the way, sort of chaos, but they were dead at halftime, they said.
Yeah.
They all showed up and started kicking 50-yarders.
Always dead until they're not dead. This is one of the highest totals on the slate in week 1, though. 47.5. 3-point favorites are the Chiefs. No Rashee Rice. So, what we're talking, broad slate overview on the Chiefs side, you have Pacheco, but you also have Kareem Hunt. So 2 very viable running backs there. On the flip side, you do have Amari Hampton. Najee Harris is going to play, though. The whole firework eye thing, it was really tough in, I guess, the best ball streets and all that. If you drafted early, could get good value late. He'll probably get ramped up. It's clear Hampton's a starter. Harbaugh already said that, but looking at his rushing prop, like with how much hype this guy got, first round pick, grades out really well and metrics wise, but 48.5 rushing yards isn't really that high when you look at it that way. You go to the receiver room, like they got, of course, Ladd McConkey on the Chargers, Keenan Allen, but they have Trey Harris. There's so many guys there. Tight end, they're going to have like rotating 3 guys at the tight end position. Chiefs, we know Noah Gray gets mixed in. There's Juju Smith-Schuster. There's just so many guys, Hollywood Browns of the world, so many guys, and I think a lot of viable low or price guys where we're not seeing as much of like the Turpin of yesterday just get all the chalk down there. Now, yes, I do think like Noah Gray, if you had to pick one guy, is probably who gets the highest ownership down below, but I think there's so many pivots. And again, we talked about it like Showdown. If you went from the Ferguson, the Goddard range, obviously Javonte got there, just right down to the kickers. We said defense, it didn't get there. It was a Dak tackle away on the Miles Sanders fumble that absolutely could have changed that. But one play to Jahan Dotson. His receiving prop was 7.5 yards. He didn't run many routes. One play in Showdown can change things. So be comfortable with the uncomfortable in Showdown, especially when you mentioned 200K solo on FanDuel. Second place, you weren't mad, but you sure weren't as happy as that guy in first place. Like you have one bank a year in Showdown. I mean, you pay for everything. You really want that top prize.
Did you say while you were doing that about Hampton, his line was 48.5?
Correct.
So that's like an interesting thing too, Hoop. I think where, again, it's not a betting show, and I'm not even putting out a Tambo bet that you always are looking for those. I'm saying though, like, what would you?
He was good last year.
I know. Yeah, we want more. That's what we're looking for. Come on, say more. Come on.
I'm just saying what I was gonna say about the Hampton thing, and I'll get to my Najee dad joke of the week. I'll probably get in trouble for it. People probably think it's bad taste, but anyway. When you got Hampton, like what number do you set on him? If it's like 70, you're like, well, that's a bit too high for Hampton. If it's 36.5, 38.5, you're like, well, that doesn't seem right. I think it's like they just throw the number out there. And I think he's pretty interesting tonight, even if he looks like he's going to be heavily owned in the flex. I wouldn't hate running back like a Javonte up top, but today it's Hampton. As far as Najee goes, and I'll kick it to you on both these, Hoop, but as Najee goes, he could be the most electrifying man tonight. Fireworks, electric, eye mix. Come on, we got to put these down when we got them. But what's your grand scheme overview, Hoopster? What do you got?
I'll tell you what's not electrifying. It's his fucking price tag at $7K. Like that's brutal for like a backup running back where we don't know what. yeah, with a one-eyed backup running back at $7K is, man, that's tough to swallow. But in regards to the game overall, Chiefs games are tough, and we talked about it all last season. On main slate, Showdown, obviously they're on a lot of Showdown slates at the end of the year. They're on some of those smaller slates, but they want to win the ugly, nasty, grinded-out games. Like people think of the Chiefs of 3 years ago where, they're on a big offensive team, got all these weapons, moving it quick. Like they are okay winning the nasty games, and that makes it a little bit difficult to kind of predict like what's going to happen on both sides. But the one thing that's for sure is we're playing a Showdown slate, and we can't be very picky. We have limited options. It's not like this is a 10-game slate where you can say, okay, I don't like this offense, I'll just cross this off and move on. We have to choose players here. So I personally am a little more interested in the Chargers side of things. Because for multiple reasons. One, I think the price tags on a lot of the guys are better. I mean, you look at like Mahomes versus Justin Herbert, and everyone has Mahomes projected higher than Herbert. I'm way more interested in Herbert on the slate. You look at Hampton versus Pacheco, much more interested in Hampton over Pacheco. Go to the wide receiver, that's where it differs a little bit because I am very interested in Title's boy Worthy. I think Worthy is just a slate breaking sort of player. Title obviously benefited from that in the Super Bowl where he won 112 or something like that, somewhere in that range. 113 to be more precise, and some change. Yeah. So to me it's a difficult type of slate, and I think it's a slate where I want my lineups to look as different as possible because I think, a lot of salary is in play here today. Like some weird correlation stuff is in play here today. So Chief stuff, always difficult. But like, man, like you Tambo, we're ahead of the curve on the never Mahomes stuff. Obviously, we can't say never Mahomes today because it's a showdown slate. You're going to have to play them in lineups. But like from a captain perspective, man, I struggle like playing Mahomes up there in that captain spot. Will I have some? Maybe, but like to me, like if he's going to be, if he's going to be the highest owned captain, like my God, like I got to take like an underweight stance on that. Like they don't want him to throw the ball a shit ton. If there's an opportunity for them to win a nasty grinded out game, they're going to do so. Like, could they win a nasty grinded out game and Mahomes still be the captain you need? Yeah, sure. But I struggle. Like that's the first thing that stands out to me. And you guys can talk about it with Mahomes as the highest owned captain. Like I struggle with that. I struggle getting anywhere close to it.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting slate. Yeah. Never Mahomes. The people love that one too. It is TM'd, it is trademarked, but it's also very clear with the disclaimer every time I bust it out that is only in classic slate where he's like literally never been needed. So I think he's on like one of the last 100 milli makers or something legit for years now. That sample's long running. So we'll see. But I got some takes on him for tonight for sure. Our boy Title was just messing with the camera a little bit. I think it was just flickering. I was going to have one eye if I had to keep watching that thing flicker at me. So we got her solved now though, I think. Looks pretty good to me. Title, what's your thoughts? At the captain here with, Mahomes up top being popular. How do you see it shaking out? And then I'll give my thoughts after.
Yeah, I like a lot of hoops that hopefully I just had the PC slow, the cam, a lot's going on over here. Tough.
113K. You better start spending some of it, buddy.
I know that hoops already gave me the new PC I got. I dropped 5K on this puppy last year and now I can't run. I mean,
it's gotta be a Mac, man. If it's not a Mac, it's trash.
Take it back.
That's what
if it's not a Mac. Take it back. Yes.
There you go. I agree with like if Mahomes is really 20%, which I guess see why he wouldn't be. Like he's projected for the highest. He's not even priced the highest. We see right on the stone, negative flex leverage, negative captain leverage. The one thing I wouldn't be too shocked is if he did try and run a little more, but I'm also taking, I'm speed kills. Worthy was my favorite captain in the Super Bowl. I got lucky for sure. I by no means am victory lapping that, but anyone with 4.3 speed when it takes one play to change everything, I absolutely like it. He's going to be owned. That's something I want to be ahead on. Lad McConkey kind of said it yesterday. The Saquon, the CDs, the Browns. Well, and we were a little right on Brown. He can either be reading his book or completely get there. He was reading his book yesterday, but I want to be overweight to these skill position guys that have 100 plus 2 touchdown upside. That's Lad. That's Xavier Worthy for sure. My 2 favorites. Kelsey's someone that I thought his legs were going a little bit, etc. But without Rashee Rice, I think he can just pep like Goddard. We saw it so much yesterday as the security blanket. I could see Kelsey having 12, 13 catches. Yeah, maybe he's averaging 8 yards a carry, a lot of short ones, hot routes, etc. But I'm going to play a lot of Travis Kelsey at a fair price tag. He's definitely someone I prefer more on DK than FanDuel with the full point PPR. But Worthy, Lad, Kelsey, my favorites. Are we going to get throwback Keaton is what I keep going back and forth on. That price is real good. You're going to say something. Go ahead.
No, I'm waiting to see. Like, I want to hear your takes. Yeah.
I'm again, way better DK than FanDuel play. He has the rapport with Herbert. Yes, he's definitely a step slower for sure, but he's the same thing like I just said about Kelsey. Like, if there's pressure on either side, he's the security blanket. He can go 9 for 70, and then if he falls in the box, I can see pass for getting there. Quentin Johnston can't catch a cold. Trey Harris, who knows how much they're going to use these guys. So Lad, Kelsey, Keenan, Worthy, who I think the top 2 pass catchers on both sides are, that's who I'm going to be going as much. I won't play the running backs as much in captain. I'm fine with it, but seeing the props, thinking Najee gets work, thinking Kareem Hunt gets work, I think they eat into each other a little bit. I think you kind of have to see one of them fall in the box twice maybe. The quarterbacks, I'm really going back and forth. I'm going to let you guys talk about both sides of the quarterbacks. I think they have more sneaky rushing upside than I think people are giving credit for. 4.5 rushing attempt propped on Herbert. That's pretty good. 3.5 juice on the over for Mahomes. That's not terrible. We've seen Mahomes scamper in for touchdowns when plays break down too. So I'm indifferent with the quarterbacks. I'm going pass catchers though, like yesterday.
Yeah, I'll go to mine in a second. Shout out to our man Gary, said glad to be back in the saddle with you all again this year. Hoping to have the same success as last year. Appreciate all the help. Founding family member worth every penny. We appreciate you. That's Gary with many A's in his name for those that don't know. And then shout out to our guy Hebrew. Rio says, I got the Britton Covey gross value play of the day locked and loaded for Discord later today. So we'll see what that is if you're in the Discord over at SHIPIT Nation. But let's go back down here just to see. People are liking the Keenan Allen stuff. Some people say, our man Derek, straight out of class, man, he's probably got the kids working hard in the book, says Kelsey in love, he overball. So maybe we'll have to wait and see. But I think one thing that's most interesting, and I usually don't love Mahomes, I usually don't love quarterbacks in the captain in Showdown. Like that's a common theme. And when I'm on them, they've usually done pretty well. So it's not, picks and plays and takes. But I think the most interesting is more from the strategy perspective. If there was ever a slate for that to be the case, one of the things about this slate is how much these guys spread it around. Like when we get to those other positions later, what are you going to if anybody knows, please tell me. Worthy, Brown, Schuster. We're talking in the Discord today, Tyquan Thornton. Everyone's telling a different story. McConkey, Allen. I do agree. Quentin Johnston can't catch a cold. That's what had me laughing. But Trey Harris, and then you got the tight ends. We haven't got there. Kelsey and Noah Gray, Conklin and Disley, whatever it ends up there. Like you got the kickers. So it's going to get really spread out. And that's the time to use a quarterback up top. And in Showdown, when, that's why the only reason I ever get people getting after me on the other side of Never Mahomes is usually in Showdown. They're like, see, he crushed it. Like, yeah, in Showdown, he's valuable because he's a guy. So he's a quarterback. So he can be the guy. But Herbert usually spreads it out a ton too. And then you got the running backs, but that'll be alternative captains within the portfolio. So I just think there is a little bit more merit to the captains up top today. Unfortunately, like you say, with the with the guy like Mahomes coming with so much ownership, maybe it's Herbert on the other side. He definitely spreads it out. And if we think someone like Keenan Allen or Disley or those guys are going to get in the mix, maybe there is a possibility, Hoop. But do you have follow-up thoughts at the captain or anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, if you are making a case for Mahomes, it's okay. The Chiefs score a lot of points through the air, and he spreads it out, which is very viable. I mean, there's so many different guys they're going to throw on the field, and that's why it does make it difficult at the wide receiver position, outside of some of these, the one top guy on the Chiefs. We know Worthy is the top guy. After that, it could be like 4 or 5 different dudes. So if he does happen to throw 3 touchdowns, it's probably likely it goes to 3 different guys with Kelsey in the mix as well. So yeah, I guess, maybe you can make the case, but from an ownership perspective, it's hard if he's going to be the highest owned guy up there. I mean, if I am playing a quarterback up top, it's definitely Herbert, and I actually like him up there. I do think there's some rushing upside. I like the Chargers this season. I think they have a good year. Like, I think they're an improved team, and I like the Keenan Allen call. Like, I'm a Keenan Allen guy. They brought him back here for a reason. It's not like they're, don't think he has gas still left in the tank. And his style of play, even if he's 85% of what he was a couple years ago, like at 6,400 PPR, full PPR setup, like he can definitely get there and be the guy. Like I think like 6 for 80 and a touchdown is very realistic for a guy like Keenan Allen. So I'm in on him for sure. Probably in the captain as well.
Yeah, I'll let you get the screen share going with Saber. While you do that, just a real quick note. I'm going to pull it up here now. So, like I said, we're going to get to the Golden SHIPIT number 3 ticket winner that's going to play Hoop in a head-to-head on Sunday and will be one of the 50 finalists in SHIPIT games, playing for over 50,000 cash, 27,000 additional in prizes, and it can only go up from there. Got to get to 200 likes, though, before we announce it. Otherwise, we'll just wait till the end of the show. There's now almost 300 people watching, and we've got about 72. So let's make sure we keep those likes rolling. We'll get to it. Just to bring it back, the other thing I was going to say is it's also a product of the slate where I'm seeing this stuff. Like Mahomes is 15K. After that, it's okay. Worthy's 13.5, Kelsey's 12.9. First of all, there's like 6 other guys on their team it could be, and that's also a bit of a high price for them. The quarterbacks are still priced down. I'm with you on Herbert. He's the guy that makes sense up top, but McConkey is actually almost 16K, and I'll be playing him up top. I'm just as the opposite of Worthy and all those other factors, but just to note it, it's like there's not many guys up there. And then when you're talking about how you would build a Mahomes captain lineup, you've got Worthy's 9K, but you got everybody else is almost free after that. Kelsey 86, but the rest of it, if you're using Noah Gray and Hollywood Brown or Worthy and Noah Gray, it all makes it work anyway. So that's another reason why you're going to see these guys popping up as optimal. If you've got a different take on it, I always suggest you go with what you want to do or what works or how you see it playing out. But I think that's why we're seeing it. And if he is, 20% up top in the captain, you can play 10 and go underweight. So you can play 0 and fade them. You could play 30 to 40 and get overweight and start getting more of those combinations, because I think if he is up top, what people are most going to fear, and I would tell you this too, I would have a hard time playing single entry tonight if it was me. This is a major MME slate. There's so many names that people are even mentioning in the chat about Gadsden and Brashard Smith, and like people are literally naming everybody. So I would really have a hard time playing single entry, and I think I'd want, if it is Mahomes up top, you're going to wish you had more versions of it, because there's going to be a bunch of different angles to the top if it is him up there. So, Title, I'll go back to you, man. The running back game is what we need to talk about next. We already hit on Hampton. We touched on Harris a little bit, but Pacheco on the other side, some of these other dudes I mentioned that people are talking about. How do you see the running game shake out? What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, the price alone on Najee, like Coop said, just takes me off of him. I mean, the 150 dart, if you want a solo shipper, Najee is a way you can play him in the flex to get different there. It just, you need a lot to go right. Again, I think he's not going to be just his full workload. And who knows what his full workload is? Like, Hampton's the starter as the year goes. Is it 65-35? Is it 60-40? Who knows? I mean, with that eye, he hardly practiced. It's hard to see him getting too much work. So I will not be playing. Like, there's not even any rushing attempts prop on Najee Harris. Like, they have Herbert, they have all that. They have nothing for Najee. So I'm not playing any at 7K. I'm not playing as much Hampton in the captain, but I'm going to play plenty in the flex. I think he's going to get a good amount of work. He can catch passes. He's a very good running back. I don't love picking on the Chiefs in terms of running backs against them, but it's a single game. It's showdown. I'll have Hampton. I prefer him in flex over. The Chiefs stuff is where it's interesting. Again, I don't love him as much as the captain. I'm going to be mixing them in the flex. The prices are very fair on all of them for their thing. Like, Pacheco is starting running back as a 3-point favorite. 7,600 makes a lot of sense. Kareem Hunt, a backup who's going to definitely get work. 3,600 only. I prefer him, I think, actually at ownership and the savings to Pacheco if having to pick. And then I'm going to call Rio's a sneaky one. I'll be in the Discord and I'll be looking. Brashard Smith. I'm going to guess that's where Rio goes. And I could be wrong. There's so many options. Only $200. There's a reason they kept him on, or he made the roster. He can catch passes. He is a lot different than the Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, just up the middle. I mean, stompers is Pacheco. That dude runs so hard up the middle, uses all of his energy. Kareem Hunt's getting up there slower. Brashard Smith's the change of pace back. Could very well be the 2-minute back. If they get down, a lot of random stuff can happen. We even saw A.J. Dillon get in the game. Granted, Shipley got hurt a little bit, but week 1, who knows exactly the rotations? If I'm seeing, what do we got him project or ownership? 1.78% in the flex. I mean, I can get 5% and be like 3x. I'm going to be playing some Brashard Smith at 200, and zeros don't necessarily kill you, I guess, either at that price. So yeah, 3 Chiefs running back in play for me.
That's exactly who it is. And now Rio is Googling Gadsden II and finding out information about him to come back and say, no, Title, you were wrong. It was actually Gadsden. And here's why I think he's the man. That's the sneaky play, Rio. That's what you got to go and do. So I think
there you go, Gary. That helps too right there. That McKinnon roll is always in the back of my head. Andy Reid likes his little scat backs like that, and the 2 above him are clearly not scat backs. Let's
see how much we move the needle tonight then. Everyone always says, these shows really move the needle. Let's see if he gets up to 3% now from his 1.7%. We'll see. But Hoop, your thoughts? I mean, there's a lot of options here, but I think it starts with Hampton. It starts with Pacheco, and then you can start filling in after that. You already had your conversation around Najee. One of those chat members did say, you are getting what I always call paying up for probability. If you, for some reason, think it's a Najee game and you want to do it, it's going to be a very low-owned Najee at 7K in the flex. But that would be the thought process there. Where are you at with these other running backs?
Man, just can't see myself doing the Najee thing at 7K. See that? He wasn't even paying attention.
He wasn't, but I got you.
Now you got you were. Yeah, I was waiting for.
I got you.
Yeah, I was waiting for.
Slow down on the C though when you want to hit your emphasis, because people.
All right, I'm learning. I'm still learning. But the 7K, he's probably got to score 2 touchdowns, and do I think he's scoring 2 touchdowns? No. If you don't play him at 7K and he gets in the box once, you're probably still fine. So I just can't play him. Can't imagine many people do either. Hampton over Pacheco for me, I think. I don't love either. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm going to have some, but, you know, I don't love either of these guys. They'll be in the pool, but probably underweight. I'll just be on the cheap guys. I think, you know, kind of in alignment with title. I mean, he liked Kareem Hunt. I'm in on Kareem Hunt. I'm in on the Smith guy. I think both fine options, and hopefully Smith stays at low ownership. And even like Will Dissly yesterday, not Will Dissly, what's that dude? Shipley. With Shipley, I thought for sure he would get quite a bit of ownership. He was 8% owned or something. Like, no one played him. He got injured, but if he doesn't get injured, I think he's on optimal because they were using him. They were going to use him, and he looked good. So, like, people don't play the cheap plays at as high of a rate as we think they're gonna. So I like the Smith guy a lot at 200. I think he's a great play. I like Kareem Hunt at the 3,600 price tag. Those are my two favorite running backs.
Yeah, you got a John Cena with the props. I can't see myself playing Najee, you know, and then people are like, oh shit, they caught on to it and collected. I forgot. Yeah, Nate's got it. Big time Pats homer, Rio. Going.
That's it for sure.
Second round pick. It's Tyquan Thornton.
Yeah,
he figured you out, man. And hey, nothing wrong with a double T. You know, Tyler Tamboline, you got the double T, Tyquan Thornton. Let's get it tonight. That's the play. I like that. $1,200. So in the flex. The one thing that's interesting is just the Pacheco stuff. I'm with you too, Hoop. Like, I get what you're saying on the Hampton side of things for sure. But if not going to go with heavy Mahomes up top, it's like Pacheco, Worthy, Kelsey. It can be other guys. I'm just saying, but like those three on that side specifically seem pretty good, and it's early, but I'm seeing much lower. I'm seeing like 5% Pacheco captain and like 20% Mahomes. So that's where, again, you can control your own portfolio. You're allowed to make changes and do what you want with it, of course. But I think that's an idea where you would say, like, okay, if I'm not going to be as high on this, why wouldn't I be looking to get more of this? And so that's just my 2 cents on it as well. I think on both sides, you know, you're going to have some of those other value plays and things like that mix in. But for me, I'm going to be focused on those two, Pacheco, Hampton, and then it does look like Smith will be the guy. I know we were making fun of it earlier, but be the guy that creeps through a little bit more just in that spot versus the Najees and the others, you know, that are out there. So go to wide receiver. I'll stay with you, Hoop. I know we talked about Worthy, Ladd, Keenan Allen, kind of hit on those. What about the others, the outsiders? And Title already said it, like Quentin Johnston can't catch a cold. I like that line, but there's not – I mean, you're making a bunch of stabs on all these other guys. What do you think about that?
It is wild that they continue to give this Quentin Johnson guy an opportunity. Like, he has never been able to catch a pass. He always fucks up. Like, just has no hands, and like he still has a role. So I mean, they must be showing something in practice, or I don't know, like that they like. But he's been so bad. With that being said, like in Herbert captain teams, I definitely want a little bit of him at 5,400. But man, it is not comfortable. He's going to drop some passes, and you're going to be pissed off that you played him. Worthy's definitely my favorite, 9K, slate breaking upside. McConkey I love at 10.6. Remember last year I was calling him McConkey the donkey. I learned my lesson on that rather quickly because this dude is good. Dude is good. So I'm retiring that nickname. Can no longer call him McConkey the donkey because he's legit. But you're paying the price up now, 10.6. But it's easy to get him in. Like all the other Chiefs guys, I just think are better suited in Mahomes captain sort of teams. Like, I want exposure to all of them. Who knows who it's going to be? And I guess that is another case to be made for Mahomes captain team. There's so many different ways you can go about playing them with all these potential pass catchers. So, you know, Juju, Thornton, Hollywood Brown as well, like, and then like the tight end. So I'm gonna play him. Who's it gonna be? I have no idea. Like, who the hell knows? It's very hard to predict, but I'll have him in my player pool. We talked about Keenan Allen. I like him in all formats. I mean, again, there's a reason they brought him here. He still looked good last season. It's not like he fell off a cliff last year and was terrible. Like, he was productive with the Bears last season. Like, they brought him back. Like, I think he can be fine. 6,400. Like, again, I think he can get 6 for 70 and a touchdown, and that could be what you need in captain. So very interested in him. Trey Harris, I guess you can throw him in there. Probably more Herbert captain sort of teams, but you know, Worthy, McConkey, Keenan Allen, and then just kind of all those other guys in the quarterback captain teams.
Yeah, I was trying to look it up too, title, just to see, like, man, none of these guys, I don't know, like, the only other one that stood out to me as a maybe just because of his price, it's going to kill me if it does in lineups, but I mean, like, to put some of these in through is Hollywood Brown. And that's kind of like the one that makes sense, even though maybe it doesn't. I'm just saying, but at least that one, I don't feel as bad about it. I like the Rio said Tyquan Turner for his name, but he doesn't know that when you Google Tyquan Turner and people are out there wondering who Rio's talking about, that is an inmate right now in Hartford prison that's going to pop up. So you're trying to tell people to play inmates tonight. So we appreciate you, Rio. But the other guys like Trey Harris, who mentioned, I think is good. But really for me, it's like outside of the Worthies, the Lads, the Allens, it's more Hollywood, it's more Trey Harris, and it's more Tyquan. What about like Darius Davis or some of these other guys down here? Anybody else that you like down the Trey? Like I mentioned, Trey Harris. Do you like him? Do you like any of those other options down low?
I don't think I'm gonna really mess with the Lamberts, the Trey Harris. Like they're gonna rotate on the field a little bit, but because Trey Harris is wide receiver 4, I think Lambert's 5 rookies, but they're even competing with each other to get on the field. So it's not like one has that. Like I prefer Tyquan Thornton to both of them because he at least is solidified as that wide receiver 4. And yeah, Darius Davis. If you play him, you're probably playing Chargers defense. You're hoping he springs a kick return or something like that for the double dip. They just have such a big receiver room. Now, again, you're playing 150, like getting a little Harris, getting a little Smith is fine. Quentin Johnston, he was then dealing with the concussion a lot of the preseason. So who knows if his snaps are dialed back just a little bit. I prefer the Chiefs guys in the flex, though, to the Chargers. Like I like Ladd and Worthy a lot at captain, like I said yesterday, but I'm not going to have as much in the flex. They have big boy prices. Worthy especially. He can fully get there, or he just can have like a 3 for 30 game and they run the football, they clock management like Coop's saying. Like I either want him to get there fully or probably not be optimal. I'm hoping the same kind of with Ladd, but I do prefer Ladd in the flex over Worthy since he's a PPR monster, more ways for him to get there. But I like Hollywood a lot. I like Juju a lot. These guys are going to like Hollywood's receiving yards prop, only 9 less than Travis Kelce. His price tag is $2,800 less. You could see Hollywood like captain, like you were mentioning. I'd be fine with that. But I'm talked into. I think there's sneaky rushing upside quarterbacks. You talked about how much they spread it around. I will be playing them at captain. If I'm playing them at captain, when I'm playing Mahomes, Juju's, Thornton's, Hollywoods, like I'm more likely to play them. When I'm playing Herbert, I'm more likely to play the Quentin Johnstons, the Keenan Allens, the Lads, and then that's probably when a Trey Harris, something like that would come in. So it's, we play a puzzle, a salary-based game more than just today this guy's going to go off. I mean, we really don't know.
That's how
I will say our projections are pretty high on Hollywood Brown. I mean, we have him at, you can see here on the screen, 12.3. You go over to captain. This is just dry run by projected score. Obviously, we do Sabre score, we do contest sims. It'll change quite a bit. But the initial dry run has 21% Hollywood Brown. So our projections are pretty high on Hollywood Brown today.
Yeah, and I look at it, a bunch of different things to compare off of there. But like I talked about it last night with the Javonte Williams situation. It has nothing to do with like one's a running back, one's a wide receiver. Him and Lamb they can hurt each other if he gets in the box and Lamb doesn't. But I mean, Lamb was almost said he was going old school Justin Jefferson style, almost 76 in the first quarter and could have caught more. And it's like, that's kind of the setup I'm seeing here when I look at it. Hollywood Brown's projection and ceiling are correlated, of course. If the higher the projection, the higher the ceiling typically. But you're looking at Worthy, it's like maybe almost half, could end up being almost half the ownership, way less in the price there. And then if you're comparing it on the other side, it's very similar with Keenan Allen to Ladd McConkey. And so, that's kind of the setup with these guys. I think it's interesting from that perspective. But back to what Title said and why my original point was I almost always am off quarterbacks at the top. The time that it makes sense is when they're really spreading it around. And when we're making this many cases at running back, this many cases at wide receiver, we're about to do it at tight end. Spoiler alert. So it's about to be the same thing. To Title's point, let those guys fall in where they may. And that's why you may want more of those lineups. Like Hoop, your side is Herbert, and that's good too. On Herbert's side, you can get Ladd, Keenan Allen. You might not like Quentin Johnston, but he makes perfect sense in the flex going with what's going to set off. He's not going to be probably the killer himself, but he'll be the guy that might be needed in the flex in that example. All those other guys down the board with your Herbert captains can make sense. So I think there's something to be said for that as well. Title, you want to take tight end quick, and then we'll move it over to Hoop for any thoughts there?
Yeah, 4 guys. I mean, Kelsey and Gray will both play. They'll sometimes run 12 personnel, both of them on the field at the same time. Noah Gray does feel like the one. Again, no one I think's in the Turpin range in terms of like the chalk cheap option because there's enough guys below. But I do think Noah Gray will be one of the highest owned down there at 3.4K. Juju's 400 less, so I think those two will be pretty popular. When I'm playing like Gray and Kelsey and stuff, I'm more likely to play him in the flex. I do like tight end though. Like I'm going to play Will Dissly and Conklin. Harbaugh's going to want to pound the football, get big boys out there, play action. I mean, you can have Dissly and Conklin in the field at the same time, Kelsey and Gray on the field at the same time with teams that are fine running the football and play action. Yeah, there's plenty of outs for them to get there. Dissly had multiple games last year where he was very, very efficient and you needed him in showdown and type stuff like that. So looking at the ownership, all very low teens for like the Dissly Conklin, maybe even like high single digits. And yeah, I'm just going to be on board of Kelsey without Rashee Rice, his main guy. Worthy's just a different type of player. Those just quick 5 route, and they just know each other like the back of their hand, the option routes that they have. I'm hoping we get like an 8 to 10 catch Kelsey game, and he's optimal. So I'll be overweight, probably captain and flex with him. But I like the tight ends for their prices and ownership.
How do you think you're going to handle it, Hoop? What's your thoughts at it?
So I like them all. Kelsey, man, I'm a little concerned with Kelsey, just like a little bit. Like he looked slow a lot of times last season, but like he can definitely get there with like the PPR stuff. I'm not gonna go crazy with Kelsey. Like I'm gonna probably be around the field, maybe a little under on Kelsey. Like how focused is he on football? He's got all the off the field shit going on. Like that being said, he can still get there. So I don't know, probably fields or below on him. Definitely in on Noah Gray. Like another reason, I guess now I'm probably talking myself into the Mahomes captain teams just because there's just so many different guys that you can play him with. So even if he is high owned there, like it's easy to find different ways to play him, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I'm definitely in on Gray. I like Dissly a lot. And then I'll throw Conklin in there some, but definitely Dissly over Conklin for me. But all, the tight ends are in play here for me.
Yeah. And I think for me, I'm just looking at like Kelsey, I'll probably be underweight or, around the field at captain, but just from what I'm seeing early run, but I will say like in the flex, there's also a potential where this game is just going through some of those same dudes. And at 8,600, you have the money, or if you're balancing instead of going with the cheapies, like there's a ton of different ways to use them. So as of my first run here, it looks like I've got more Kelsey in the flex than I am going to run up top in captain. Again, if it's a lower scoring game, the PPR gets 9 catches for 60 or something. That's still a pretty solid line. Probably won't be up top. So, at that number. So just got to see how it plays out. Just looking at Noah Gray, I mean, he's going to be popular, but again, it's flex. I'm not putting him up top. That's the other thing. We talked about this yesterday, like the Turpin captains and all this stuff people are trying to do. Like those lineups are duped a million times. And then on top of it, they have they're pretty dead going in. So it's just that stuff doesn't really help you. It's trying to look around your build for other ways to get there. And I think that's what you'll have to think about. If you got Noah Gray in there, but you're leaving $1,200 on the table, I mean, maybe that accounts for it and you can get away with it that way. So just think about those things when you're building out your lineups. As far as the or the other guys go, I guess, if you will, like right now I'm getting some Dissly. Guy cost me a bunch of money last year. Some Conklin. Dissly cost me a bunch of money last year, but I'm getting some Dissly, some Conklin. So that's where I'm at on like the backup side of things. The Gray spot I'm getting, but it's going to be in those builds where it's kind of like what Title said earlier at wide receiver. It's more so filling out to fill out the lineup. It'll be different in other ways because I'm obviously trying to have more unique lineups to get to a unique or solo shipper if possible. Love to win 500K. That would always be nice. So Title, anything else to add? If not, we can go to kickers and Ds and then we'll take it to FanDuel Hoop if you want to maybe pop that up for after.
Nothing more to add. I still think kickers are too cheap. I probably think defenses are a little more. I mean, Mahomes doesn't take that many sacks. I think Herbert's and their offensive line and stuff will be fine. So I like the kickers. I don't like the defenses as much. I prefer Bucker to Dicker if picking.
Bucker to Dicker. There's got to be some sort of joke there. I don't know what it is. I'm not clever enough to figure it out, but I like both too, Dicker and Bucker. Either one's fine. I mean, Dicker has been very solid, and Bucker is obviously very solid, and minimal interest in the defenses. I mean, they're 4,400 and 4K. Like, I don't love it. And Chargers defense, Mahomes does a great job of avoiding sacks, like Title said. So I won't have much of the defenses, but I'll have a lot of kickers.
My man Antoine Pacheco said verbatim, I'm on a revenge tour. I was on a revenge tour last night and didn't go well. So it doesn't, now I'm on a revenge tour again tonight. So
that's one of those things. Like statements like that. I'm not shitting on our guy or anything, but statements like that, it reminds me of like the training camp. Oh my gosh, so-and-so came into training camp in the best shape of his life. Yeah. How many times do you hear that? Like everyone's on a revenge tour. Guess what? You didn't any player or any team that didn't win the Super Bowl last year, they're on a revenge tour this year. Guess what? 95% of them are going to fail again this year.
Yes. I will say Dak did look in phenomenal shape, and Dak was impressive yesterday. I don't know if you saw him with his shirt off and warming up and stuff. And he was dropping them down.
Collinsworth or someone said, like, Buddy's in there looking rock hard.
Yeah, he used those exact words.
He said, this man looks rock hard. Pause.
That was funny.
This guy's talking about Dak. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about, but he said Dak rock hard. So
he said exactly what you said. That's part of the reason I remembered when they paneled, because of what he said. He looks rock hard.
So I mean, it happens. The guy, he looked maybe in the best shape of his life. Those two throws to Ferguson were some of the worst throws of his life. Like, Ferguson beat his man. He throws at the back of the other dude's helmet, and then the next play, Ferguson's like, "Well, I should try and catch this, but let me look up for 2 seconds. Oh, wait, I'm about to get smoked. Let me just get smoked and still not catch the ball." So
I wish there was a market, and there might be somewhere, and the odds are probably terrible. But if you could bet on someone to never win like a Super Bowl, like, I would put so much money, and I'm sure the odds would be terrible, but just so much money. The odds would be so bad, but I would.
Kyler, who's more likely to win?
Oh, God. Wow, that's bad. That is tough. That is tough. Like, they're both drawing completely dead. Maybe I could parlay it together. Parlay Kyler and Dak never winning a Super Bowl together to increase the odds, because there is literally no chance. They are two of the worst actual game-winning quarterbacks in the NFL.
Dak's got to have way better chance.
Yeah, but that parlay pays minus 2,000 when you put together. So it's like,
for sure, it's the worst odds.
So yeah, like, it's so hard to win a Super Bowl anyway.
Yeah.
It's like when people talk about golfer, major, like, it's hard to win.
I am. Yeah, you could. I don't think golf has a chance of winning it either. I'll be honest with you. You can probably throw him into the mix. Yeah, you guys will be surprised. We'll talk about it Sunday morning a little bit more, but I don't have high hopes for my Lions this year.
Wow,
NFC North's tough. There's no doubt.
It's very tough, and we'll get into it, but like, you have, like, as a quarterback in the NFL in this day and age, you don't have to be a running quarterback, but you have to be able to at least escape to have success. Like, you have to be able to escape pressure. There's certain scenarios where maybe it doesn't matter as much potentially, but like, you need to, if you have like a super elite defense, or a generational running back or something, but like, you have to be able to escape pressure. Goff, when he gets pressure, he literally folds, man. It's either a shitty pass or he'll just take the sack. You can't win a Super Bowl with that anymore.
Yeah, that's my thoughts too. And I know that I'm a Ravens fan. Anybody who knows me knows that. They were talking about it last night as well, about Lamar, 2-time MVP, 3 playoff games, like this guy, or whatever. I can't remember what it is. It's either games or wins. I think wins. But man, the guy really has to get it done, like, at some point. And so we'll see. We'll talk about that later as well. One note, somebody in the chat was talking about just the early bird annual winner. So we're going to announce it here shortly. There's 120 likes, almost 300 watching. So do us a favor, hit the like. We are going to just ask for that to help us out. We're going to continue to grow the channel, do more shows. There's potentially more shows coming up that we haven't even talked about yet for this season that I think you'll like. So one thing to note is this The number 4 Golden SHIPIT winner on Sunday is anybody who signs up for the early bird or annual package of any kind. So a bunch already signed up for it, but that option that is still available. So if you're still procrastinating, you're a I don't play till Sunday type person or whatever it might be, you can still get in on the early bird special, and you can still get in on the bonus ticket that will be drawn for on Sunday before we go live. The Golden SHIPIT number 3 for the head-to-head with Hoop on Sunday is coming up shortly. Hoop, FanDuel, quick. We can get it in probably the next 5 to 10 minutes and get out of here. But what's your thoughts? If we get to this 200 likes, we'll announce the winner before that, but otherwise we'll announce it at the end of the show, this one. But what's the FanDuel thoughts?
Yeah, just pulling it up here. I didn't build teams. We just kind of have it up here. But if you go in, you look at the MVP, or I guess we can look at the pricing. Mahomes, the most expensive player on the slate, 13.2. You go to MVP, 19.8. So quarterbacks, like we talked about yesterday, do have an advantage on FanDuel without the PPR. Running backs have a little bit of an advantage over as well. But man, you go through, and the main thing you're looking at, if you are someone that primarily plays on DK, look at and see if you can find big price differences between players. Hollywood Brown is all the way down here at 5,200. That seems very cheap to me. We had a nice projection on him. Let me make sure we're in on ours. 12.2 is our projection. That seems like a little high, but for 5.2, if you're using our projections, he's going to pop in a lot of stuff. He's definitely going to show up in a lot of different things. Also talked about it yesterday. Wide receivers in the MVP spot are just naturally going to be much lower owned. People are going to be looking to quarterbacks and running backs. Can a guy like Kelsey get there? I prefer Kelsey on FanDuel in the MVP opposed to the captain over on DK. He can catch 2 touchdowns, very viable. Freaking AirPods are going crazy. I don't know. Sorry about that. Come down, look for some cheap options. Juju Smith, I think 3K, interesting. The Smith guy, 16, a little less appealing on FanDuel opposed to DK, where it's just $200. Kickers, Buck or Dicker, I think, still in the conversation here. And I wanted to look at so the one thing that definitely stands out over here is Hampton. 6,400 for Hampton on FanDuel. He is $2,600 cheaper than Pacheco, where that's kind of not flip, but he's a little more expensive on DK. So that is definitely a pricing difference that stands out. But again, kind of what we talked about yesterday, kudos to FanDuel for finally getting this right. I mean, a little bit later than we all wanted, but makes it much more appealing to play over there on these showdown slates.
Yeah, Gio said you really just want low duped lineups, and it really goes with the FanDuel play. So I brought the lineup up just to give people an idea. There was, again, it was second place it was only 23 people in second place. It's not like it was that bad anyway, but just to note it, that was a Javonte Williams. This is the second place lineup with the chop. It was Javonte Williams in the MVP. It had Lamb, it had Ferguson, it had Aubrey, and then it had Barkley and Hurts. But you see the difference in going up top is it left an extra $2,000 on the table, and it had Williams in the MVP, still had Lamb and Aubrey, still had Barkley and Hurts, but instead of going with Ferguson, it went with Dotson. And is that a risk? Absolutely. There's still people out there saying, can you believe that Ferguson dropped those balls and whatever? And I actually think they were bad throws, but the point doesn't matter what I think or what they think. It's that's why it was being chopped 23 ways as opposed to one. The player that came in first, Sep Ravens fan, maybe, hopefully, smart, maybe not, but just noting it, they finished in first and they just took that risk. Dotson was 8% owned and they left $3,000 on the table. It's if Dotson gets it, I got Hurts connecting with them. If it's for everything, I still got Javonte up top. That lineup is not that crazy. It's just all remembering that you are looking for these lower owned, low duped lineups. It's a game changer. Hoop talked about it yesterday with his Millie Maker win in Classic. And that's because of Buddy's, super train. But even if it wasn't the super train, it's just your lineup didn't get there and you finish in 26th. It's such a massive difference between that and first place. Obviously, that's no secret. So just noting it from that perspective on FanDuel, you kind of can go with a bit of a more unique MVP. So just of note, Javonte Williams, 2.9% in the MVP last night up top. That's how you can see it happen. And then you go down from there, leave a couple grand on that last play. And if it ends up being your guy that catches the 50-yard catch like Dotson did early, that's kind of the setup that you want. Title, anything to add on the FanDuel side of things?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't last year. We almost never would have seen a solo shipper for 200K. So just that alone, it's very similar to DraftKings. They added the extra spot. You'll love to see it. It makes playing on both sites a lot more viable, and it's a little different. If, like we mentioned, or Keenan, Kelsey, I prefer them on DK full point PPR sites. Whereas FanDuel, probably prefer like a Quentin Johnston, because that 2 catches for 60 yards means a lot more than if someone's going 6 for 50 and stuff like that. So little differences. I also think quarterbacks will be, in general, more owned MVP wise on FanDuel than they will captain most of the year, because again, that half-point difference for pass catchers, it adds up a lot. Really, the only difference, like Hoop mentioned it, Hampton's price on FanDuel is absolutely crazy. He's definitely going to be really high owned. Hollywood Brown too, only 5,200. Like the defense is 800. Chargers defense $800 more. Chiefs defense $1,400 more. Quentin Johnston's higher owned. Like it's just that price and Hampton look off. Plenty of cheap options if you want to mix stuff up around. Kickers look good. Najee's still expensive. So really Hampton, Hollywood are the 2 differences that I saw in FanDuel.
And I'll note it too. I mean, we got more options today. I feel like we had a bunch. It's the same game is the game, but I will say, like, it feels like there's more options you can use today. But yesterday, almost 65%, which we said this would be the case. We said over 50 probably still, and it's sometimes warranted. But with the new format, maybe not so much. And clearly it wasn't with Javonte at less than 5%, or less than 3 even. But 65% between just Hurts, Barkley, and Dak, just like that. And then you add in, I can try and find Lamb real quick to see what Lamb.
Yeah, he was 8 or 9.
Yeah, he was. It shows 6.5 in the main $15 one yesterday. But yeah, that's another one right there. And AJ Brown at 5 and Devontae at 4. So like you're getting those 5%ers up top.
I mean, going into the slate, if you knew, I mean, CeeDee Lamb at 6% had to be the best captain play on the slate yesterday. Like that's crazy that he was that low. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he was wide open every time. He should have knew.
The fact that he was that low owned, like that, to me, that's insane.
It shows how much of like the spread, when you get bigger spreads like that.
Yep.
I mean, that changes.
It really does, man. It dictates the ownership. It dictates the way people build teams, and kind of we touched on it a little bit because Sheets popped in the chat and said, when they see an 8-point favorite, they play it like they're a 15-point favorite, and that's true. Like that is true. I mean, when you see a touchdown or more favorite, people take it to the extreme. CeeDee Lamb should have never been percent. That's criminal.
Yeah, that was a great call too. Shout out to our guy Sheets. He did pop in and say those exact words, and that's what ended up happening. So, although there is a conspiracy theory threads out there saying that CD was throwing the game at the end and just dropping those passes on purpose because they couldn't get that over, but. Never know, man. Crazier things have happened. There was lots of conspiracies when the Ravens beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Remember the lights went out in the Superdome in New Orleans and then came back. All of a sudden it was a close game and right down to the last play of the game. So, and now Colin Kaepernick, he's in the best shape of his life every single year too, ready to play. And that ain't happening either. So
I will say Kaepernick is in his prime. He was better than half the quarterbacks we got now.
Agreed.
I mean, these dudes are statues back there, some of them. So
he was rolling, man. He was.
He was tearing the Packers up anytime they played them. That's for sure.
Is that even possible? FanDuel has $1,000 flex price tag now. Did they always and I just didn't know, or is that part of the new?
No, that changed it. That's because of the MVP and stuff.
Component. I didn't even see that one. I everyone caught the MVP 1.5. Then some are like, oh wait, there's 6 spots now. I caught those 2, but I didn't see that you're getting $1,000 guys.
5K to 1K. It's big. I mean, they did it right. They copy and pasted DraftKings, but that was the only route to do it. Like there's no other way to do it though. Like add the spot, get the pricing. I mean,
well, you have to at that point. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together, and you could tell when you're just using an tool optimizer. Bring information over from SHIPIT Nation. Use SaberSim. Pop it together. That's the combo. That's what we do, and that's just what I did. So I played the whole slate last night. Didn't even know they had those cheapies, but it makes perfect sense with now these flex and with these MVP prices going up. So amazing stuff. Really appreciate everybody, except those that didn't hit the like button. I will say the tutorial will go up on the site soon. It's very easy if you're on a computer, desktop, or like we said, if it's not a Mac, take it back. It's same as if you can't hit the like, take a hike. It's very easy, but right there. I see it on my screen in the middle. It can be to one side or the other, depending on your screen. There's an actual thumbs up button. It currently says 127. You just click it. If you're on your phone, it exists there as well, but it's really helpful to us, right? If you're just tuning in, even if you're not a member, watching free, whatever, if you appreciate all this information, that helps us and goes a long way. So subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button. We'll continue to keep bringing it every show. We'll be back on Sunday at 10 a.m. But of course, before we go, Golden SHIPIT number 3 winner. And this winner will be taking on Hoop in a head-to-head on Sunday. Hoop, do you want to just click your link at the top? Well, you still got it up. Just go to the main homepage as well. They'll be able to see I know it's in the top right, but it's kind of tiny. So just hit the SHIPIT logo in the top left. No, go to the top left. Just go to the main page for a second. We'll get to it. We got to keep them on edge. They couldn't hit those likes. I'm fine just waiting and let it set in. But I want to note too, click that.
Why is it not going? Well, it's popping out to a different screen for some reason. Hang on.
If you click that tab at the top, we're going to teach Hoop something on the show. We taught the like button. Now we're going to teach the tab over button at the top. It should say share this screen instead on your new tab. You see it?
Oh, thank you. I was wondering how you flipped so quickly.
So that'll show if you still want to get in on ticket number 4.
You should have told me that a long time ago instead of me popping out and in and out. Man, I'm bad at some stuff. I got this. Man, I learned something today. Thank you.
This is good. Yeah, the people want the food takes back on Sunday. Right now, we're doing.
They're coming.
Right, we'll get it coming.
Although I did get a little credit. LSU Nick popped in the chat yesterday. He said he was proud of me because I didn't order well done. I got medium well when we were at the steakhouse.
That's no proud of anything. Medium well is damn near well done.
And it was like a title. I'm there, right? And you should see him. He's like, medium well. Like he's.
Oh my gosh!
Really just wanted to
If they weren't there, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If you guys weren't there, I would have ordered well done for sure.
Yeah.
No did you taste the difference? Like, did you notice that, the hockey puck? Like, they're both hockey pucks, right?
That shit burned. I want it burned.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling.
Medium well.
We can't be doing this again.
You can still.
This is ruining the vibe. One of us got a shit. We can't be talking.
Only one way to fix it is to announce a winner, and we got one. So, congrats to Matt Miskey. Matt Miskey is the winner. If you flip those M's upside down, you got WW like Willy Wonka. So look at Matt Miskey getting the job done. Number 3 of 50. We will reach out via your email. Hoop will set it up. You guys will be able to get your head-to-head for Sunday. Obviously, if you win the head-to-head, you do get a bonus, $250. But the bigger feature is that you are playing for, as you see at the top of the screen, you now are in the final 50. You will play off in week 17 with 49 others, where the top 10 will move on. That's a min cash of probably $350 by the time we get there, if not more, depending on how good the pool does, building it up as the season goes on. But you'll have a chance to win $250 on Sunday. You're already guaranteed $250 and a month of ultimate for getting in. So that's $321 prize, and then an extra $250 in cash. Could win $250 more off Hoop, and then the prize pool can only go up. And if you get through that top 50 to the top 10, you will play in week 1 of the NFL playoffs, where it is currently, it can only go up as well, but it is currently $20,000 to first, $10,000 is all cash prizes, $10,000 to second, and $5,000 to third. There's prizes all the way throughout, but those top 3 also get 1 year of SHIPIT Nation and Saber Sim, which is another $4,300 value. So lots of good news. Congrats to Matt. Got the job done. Anything else you want to add, Hoop? You're smiling over there. Anything else you got?
No, just reading some of these comments. People really hate if you like well done steak. It's actually incredible. Like, people are offended by the fact that someone would like a steak well done. It's
you can't waste that great piece of meat. I mean, the people are right.
I'm still eating it. It's not like it's going in the trash. I'm eating it.
No, you're not enjoying it. You're not enjoying it as much.
You're wasting it. He may be enjoying it. He said he's enjoying it, but it's a waste, because the reason is it's a math game. It's a math game. You get 100 people in the room right now. It's like 90 to 10. It might be 95 to 5 for where well done lands. You might get 3 to 5 well dones.
So you think it's a 95 to 5?
Yes.
Issue. Yeah. Like everyone, I'm in the 5% minority.
Not one.
You're definitely not in the 95s. Yeah, you're in the 5.
I think there's like something like men feel tough by saying they like pink meat. Like, I don't know, like they feel like they're like superior if they say I like my meat like not cooked as much. Like, it's, I don't know, it's like a masculinity thing for people. I don't get it. Like
most men have good taste buds.
Everything, yeah. I think it's a lot.
Most men have good taste buds. Come on.
We will definitely have to bring it back on Sundays. People loved it, so I'll have some more terrible takes for sure. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just a preference thing. Nothing you can do.
You're all right. That is true.
It is like 95.5 though. Even the chat agrees. So yeah, it's good. I appreciate you guys. We love doing this. We'll be back Sunday. For those that don't know, it's 10 a.m. Eastern. So Sunday we'll be back. We'll have another Golden SHIPIT ticket winner. Obviously, the week 1's crazy. We got 5 in total. The 5th will happen on Sunday because they're playing for that ticket. But we had 2 bonus tickets heading into the season. The second of the 2 bonus tickets will be announced on Sunday. So tune in. Join us Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Do a little research on Google or ChatGPT what a like button is. Easy as can be. Be able to bring that with you as well. That's going to do it for this one, guys. For Hoop, for Title, and for myself, ToeTagginTambo. Let's ship it!